Greetings folks, and welcome to episode 3 of Space Engineers. So today, I think we need to carry on building the ship and finishing the ship, realistically. So, we're going to do some welding, and we're going to be finishing some parts on the ship, because there are parts that need to be finished. We obviously need to finish the connector slot on the back here. And we need to add some more systems to the ship. Ideally, I'd like to be able to pressurise this ship. So obviously we need to finish the walls and maybe build an air vent. To do that though, I'm not sure we've got the items for it. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, we don't have the items for it. We're going to need some... what are we going to need? We're going to need stuff. We're going to need a lot of stuff. Okay, let's look at the requirements for an air vent. There we go. Okay, so what do we need? Okay, steel plates. Pretty sure we have some steel plates still. Or maybe not, I don't know. Hang on. Let's check the inventory. Let's check all of the inventory. Ooh, hello, steel plates. I figured we still had some. I knew we'd built extra. Okay. Yeah, we're going to need metal grids, construction components. Metal grids are a real pain. Okay, we're going to have to find some minerals. I think we're going to need some silicone and some cobalt. If I remember correctly, steel girders, you need cobalt for them. I'm not entirely sure why. But that's the rock we were at yesterday. Yeah, that's iron and ice, so it's not giving us what we need. So we're gonna do a little scoot around, looking for ore. We're gonna have to do it the hard way, obviously, because we don't have the materials to build ore detectors or anything like that. We don't have enough materials for nice things right now. So we're gonna head over to that asteroid there. It looks promising. I really hope that's an asteroid that I'm flying at and not some big ass spaceship that's just going to shoot me. I don't think it is a big ass spaceship because that thing would be absolutely huge. Okay, we'll inertial dampers off and we'll just glide in. I suppose I could fill you in on a few more details about the game. So I should mention the developers, Keen Software House. As a development studio, I'd say they're actually pretty good. They're way better than Star Citizen's development studio, put it that way. They're able to implement games and get them into a working beta state and then get them released on varied consoles like Xbox. So I'd say that they're actually a really good developer. I don't think they're based in the UK. I'm pretty sure they are based in Europe though. So they're a European developer, which, you know, is probably a good thing. Okay, we're approaching this asteroid. What else can I say about Keen Software House? They've given their players a heck of a lot of freedom. Rather than installing absolutely everything block-wise that you could build potentially in the game, they released mod packs. You don't have to pay for the mod packs, they're completely free, you just download the mod packs from Steam. There are a lot of other mods available, quite a few done by the community actually. You just check the Steam workshop for this game and it's literally filled with stuff, not only from the developers themselves but the community as well. Oh, is that silver or See that discoloration there in the crosshairs? That's going to be either silver or silicone. And look, there's another discoloration there that's either going to be silicone or silver, or that could be uranium as well. That could be the light playing off of uranium. This looks like it's going to be a good asteroid for us. We'll be able to get some resources here. We do need cobalt. We need silicone. We're going to need a lot of silicone long term. Let's just drift ourselves a little bit closer in. Not too close. It does. Sorry if that sounded like I was bigging up Keen Software House. I'm really not. I tried to give that as an unbiased opinion as possible. They're just they haven't really done anything wrong, unlike certain other developers. They've done really well, and they've kept their promises. Releasing regular updates for the game, releasing it onto multiple platforms. Seriously, check the guys out for yourselves. They're decent developers. Anyway, on with the game. So what have we got here? Silver. Okay, perfect. And what have we got over here? Silicone. Oh yes, perfect. Right, we're gonna get ourselves some of this. See how quickly we filled up on silicone? Or silicon? Tomato. Oh god, that sounded awful. What's that over there? Oh, that's just a mining carriage. Okay, we can probably ignore that unless it gets really close. We still have a bit of iron as well. We should probably mine some more iron whilst we're here. I highly doubt that this rock doesn't contain more iron. Oh yeah, look, over there, it does. Iron's one of the most common elements in this game. You'll find it everywhere. That and ice, which is probably a good thing. Too much debris floating out into space. Let's grab that bit and that bit. These bits, can I grab? No. Okay, they're just floaty. Oh, that's going to be grabbable, and that. There we go. Right, so that's a load of silver we've got as well. There's going to be more stuff on this rock. It's just too odd of a shape for it not to have quite a lot in the way of materials. I'm not sure if we actually need silver, but why not? I mean, it's much like the gold. It's going to be. Yeah, we might actually fly back at some point and get that gold. We do have a GPS mark for it, so it may well be a thing that we have to do. Okay, there's some more iron and ice. Is there anything else in here? There has to be more here. There's got to be a lot more to this, because we definitely need more cobalt. Let's check inside here. That's the thing, you have to get in close with your drill, because sometimes there's a vein of ore just buried deep within the rock. Okay, what is this up here? Is this nickel? Oh, this is nickel. Oh, this rock is this is a friend rock to us. That sounded so stupid. Rock friend. That's going to be a meme. See how quickly you filled up on that as well. Like our backpack went from nothing to full in a couple of reps of drill, which is probably a good thing. Where did we park? I think we parked it sort of up and around the back end here. Yes, there we go. Okay, so we've got silver, we've got nickel, we've got silicone, we've got a little bit of iron. We probably need to grab more, but we still need to find some cobalt. Yes, look at that nickel, excellent. Because you would be surprised how much nickel gets used in a lot of the recipes for building stuff. I'm not entirely sure why steel grids need cobalt to be made. That makes no sense. You'd think, okay, a bit of iron, a refinery, you're good. But apparently not. So we're going to grab ourselves some more iron. Do I have something else in my inventory? It seems like I'm filling up awfully fast. Okay, we'll just head back to the... Why was I drifting out so far there? I am flying around with just unnecessary haste. I really should be more careful. That's why we've got like 400 steel plates, nearly 500 steel plates in our inventory. It's not helping. We'll drop that off whilst we're doing this mining, because we're going to need quite a bit more iron, I think. We don't need more ice at the moment. Yeah, that's totally redundant. Is there a gap under here? Oh, look at that. I love the way these rocks are randomly generated and you get these little features. Just because the game's like engine for this is just so well developed. Apparently they used actual physics in this as well. So a lot of what you see here would be stuff that you may well encounter if you ever go into space. Realistically, no, that's not going to happen for any of us, but you know, or at least most of us, it's going to be a very small number. It's in the 0 point percentage of the population that's ever going into space. But simulations like this, done well, you know, they're a good second spot. Okay, there isn't anything in that rock there. Do we need more iron? I feel like we've probably explored this rock enough, although I do want to get some more nickel, because it's occasionally very, very sparse and difficult to find. So we're going to grab ourselves just another backpack load of nickel. My paranoia is also telling me we should probably grab another backpack load of silicone as well. Just because that can be difficult to find. How much am I just letting float away? Quite a bit. Okay, we'll gather that up. Let's not turn space into a literal trash bin.
Inventory full.
Okay, well, we've cleaned up a bit of our mess, it's fine. Okay, we're just going to drop that nickel in there. We do need to put a conveyor on the back of this thing though, or a connector, sorry, not a conveyor. that's the silver. So we want to go over here to the silicon. Look, there are loads of little bits that I've just left scattered about. Excellent. Is there any more? Any more for any more? Yes. Okay, you. And you. And you. Definitely you. Oh my gosh, we left loads. Okay. Now, I did think about adding in another refinery type block called an arc furnace. But it's an arc furnace, it's not upgradable, it can only refine cobalt, nickel and iron, and it uses a hell of a lot of power to do it. And it's not necessarily super efficient whilst doing it either. As in, it uses up a lot of power, drags in a lot of minerals, and it may or may not give you a decent yield. I am not entirely sure, but to me that doesn't sound like a good idea. At least not on a ship where it's like, you know, ideally we need to not be using up tons of resources. Okay, we're going to refine down the iron. Wow, we've got a decent amount of silicone. I really don't need to look around this rock anymore. I feel like we've investigated enough. Okay, moving on. We're going to get in our ship and we are going to fly the hell away. Because, yes, that's a military mine layer. No. Anytime you see a military type ship, just don't even bother. Those things are covered in guns. I mean, you can rob them. You definitely. What is that? That cannot be a rock. Okay, I'm going to get it right in the crosshairs there, but that is something that I probably ought to investigate. So we're going to get ourselves a little bit of direction here. There we go. We're going to accelerate. I'm not going to carry us in super fast though. I'm going to bring us in nice and slow, just in case it's a thing that has guns and will shoot us. That's another thing you need to be careful of. This game can sometimes surprise you. Sometimes things that you don't expect to shoot at you will start shooting at you. You know, this is just one of the things that happens. I mean, it's space. Random things will happen for random reasons. I don't know what that is that we are approaching though. I'm just going to have to wait until we get a bit closer to find out, but that's a something. It could be a rock. I fully admit that right now I could be looking at a rock. I don't know if it is a rock or if it isn't a rock, but I do know that we should probably go and investigate and make sure. Because it could be a ship, or it could be a space station. It looks pretty small, so if it isn't a rock, it might be an abandoned ship. Which would be so freaking cool. Because an abandoned ship, well, we can steal all of the things. It's abandoned. This is salvage. It's fine. As long as there's no one on board it. Are there more things up there? I think those are going to be rocks. But those could be more things as well. I don't know. I mean, the closer I'm getting to this thing, the more I'm thinking it might be a rock or it might not. What do you think? Opinions. Is that a rock? Isn't it a rock? What is that? I feel like we could run some sort of betting thing there. Are we approaching a rock? Are we not? I think it might be a rock. It might be one of those donut-shaped asteroids. I really can't tell. Let's go for the internal view. Yeah, you still can't tell. We really... What is that? It could just be a very, very odd shaped rock with like edges and paint. That's not a rock. Or if that is a rock, that's a very odd rock. That's potentially the oddest rock that I've ever seen in my life. Is that a rock? It looks... I still can't tell. It's a rock. It's a rock. It's just a very, very odd shaped rock. Okay. So we can stop here and we can take a look at it because, well, we need cobalt, and that could either have ice or cobalt on it. It's definitely got iron. We can see that from here. Damn, look at that thing. No wonder it was confusing us whilst we were looking at it. Look, it's just... Look at the colours there. This is why we need a camera on this ship, because we can then zoom in and have a look at these things. And figure out what they are without wasting fuel travelling to it. So it was just a very, very weird shaped donut rock. I'm going to call them donut rocks. The ones with the holes in, they're donuts from now on. At least for me. I don't know, maybe you guys have different names, but I'm going to call it donut. What do we have here? Platinum? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have platinum, we have ice, we have iron. Look, it's got a huge chunk of platinum on it. I think platinum's worth way more than gold. I don't know. But we're going to take it of it. Takes a little while to mine this stuff. It's not like nickel where it fills up our backpack in a very short space of time. Oh, hang on, we're getting iron now. Okay. Do we have any platinum ingots floating around that we can pick up? No? Yes, one there. That's one there. Now, what are those? They could just be asteroids. Just very odd coloured asteroids. Of course, because the sun's there, we could just be seeing the shadow side of the asteroid. We could very well be in the eclipse. Or seeing the eclipse of an asteroid. Anyway, we've got some platinum. I feel like I ought to put that in the refinery immediately, rather than carrying it around. Okay, and we've got some more iron, because there we go, iron. Our iron refines down really quickly. I like that. Okay, we don't need more ice. Is there anything here that's left to check? Okay, we'll check these. Yeah, you see, there's a big vein of ice in there. So you always check these kind of large outer bulges. That sounds like a euphemism, it's not. Believe me, it really isn't. But these can be filled with minerals, so it's always just a good idea to have a look. Yeah, I think we've gotten what we needed from this. We've gotten the platinum. Okay, so finding our ship. Where did we park? I really need an antenna on my ship. I know we parked somewhere around this thing. There we are. Okay, so we're going to move on. Now, there were those two asteroids, two tiny little asteroids. Now, where are you? Is that you? Should be another one nearby. Okay, there's one. So that's obviously not it, because there were two kind of relatively close to each other. I mean, they could be a few kilometers apart because... Okay, what? That's going to be a rock. I know that's a rock. Okay, they were up near the sun, weren't they? So, they're around here somewhere. Just have to keep an eye out. They were definitely nearly eclipsed by the sun, so... Okay, there's one there. That's the one we were looking at. Let's be careful. And just keep our eyes peeled. What is that over there anyway? That's the thing. It's not coming any closer. I really want to investigate that because that has... I know it's just rendering. It's some sort of rendering issue, but it's got some really anomalous stuff going on the surface of it. Yeah, we're going to go and check this. I mean, it could be that there's an asteroid base on an asteroid. It's not entirely unheard of, which could also be super handy. A large part of me is thinking, no, it's just going to be a rock. It's just, you know, the sun's bouncing off of it in a weird way. There's another rock sort of above it as well. Both of which are probably worth checking out, even though we know they're rocks. Even before getting there and not having a proper visual. With a 99% surety that it's a rock, you can pretty much say it's a rock. I mean, that is almost certainly a rock, and it's... The lights that we're getting flashing off of it isn't going to be like a base, it's just going to be the light rendering briefly off of parts of the asteroid. Ah, so those were the two rocks that we were seeing. Perfect, so we're going in kind of the right direction as well. And I'd really like to get over there and find some sort of asteroid mining outpost or something like that, but the chances are slim to negligibly nothing. I've heard of people who have gone exploring, you know, and effectively found nothing but rocks for tens of thousands of kilometers of space travel in this game, which is actually pretty realistic. And then I've heard of people who are like, oh yeah, after 10 minutes of flying around I found this, this, this and this, which is less realistic. Let's be honest, space is pretty big, and the likelihood of you coming across anything, even a rock, is pretty damn low. I mean, we're kind of lucky that in Space Engineers they decided to go a bit easy on us to a certain extent and give us, you know, the ability to modify the asteroid density. I mean, I've got mine on low, and it still seems like we have a lot to explore and look around. That's something else that I should probably mention about the map. It generates itself procedurally, so, and I think it does it in 50 kilometer boxes. Like each box is 50 kilometers. Effectively 50 kilometers along and then 50 kilometers up, and that's one side of the box, and then, you know, fill the rest out and you get a pretty fair idea of exactly how large an area renders in this game all at the same time. and it generates a map procedurally for you like that, so you can fly out of the edge of a zone and into a new one, and everything will just render, or it will render an entirely new section of space for you to explore in around about every 50 kilometers. But it also remembers the areas that you visited and what it has rendered as well. So, you know, you can fly out of an area, fly back, and it hasn't changed. It's exactly as you left it. Which is handy, you know, for your sanity, because you know, you build an outpost station and then you fly back to it and it's not there because it's despawned. Yeah, that would drive me nuts. I don't know about you, but that would drive me nuts. Not that I really enjoy building bases. It was something that I did early on, but then I realised in this game, building yourself a base actually ties you down to a section of space. It's space. Building a base, why? Why not just build a ship that you can use as a base as and when you need to? It's much easier, and you can move it. Whereas getting a space station to move, oh, you're going to have to add a gyro, oh, you're going to have to, you know, add thrusters to the thing, you're going to probably have to upgrade the power because it was never designed to have thrusters in the first place, and thrusters use a lot of power. Yeah, there's a whole list of problems with converting something. I mean, some people will say, oh yeah, it's easy to do. Really? Okay. Did you have friends helping you? And how much in the way of resources did you use? And then they'll come back to you with numbers, and it's like, okay, so it wasn't easy then, because that would have taken you a couple of hours of mining to do. Either that, or they had like just ridiculous mining ship built to get the job done for them. But even then, you've still got to go around prospect, find and prospect all the ore. Look at this rock. No wonder it was throwing some weird lighting at us. Look at these angles and how they're bouncing off the sunlight. But anyway, we need to find cobalt. That's a little bit of, I think that's some uranium poking out right there. That is. That is ice, I believe. We really probably should check that though. What is that that's following us? There is something. What are you? That's a raiding station. Okay, we need to keep our eye on that because that could well call in some reinforcements to try and murder us. Yay. Are you cobalt or are you ice? The only way we're going to find out is if we get out. Okay. Because I do remember cobalt being blue. I think cobalt's blue. Yes, there we go. Perfect. We don't have to stick around here for very long. It will be super handy if that raiding station does actually spot us. I'm surprised it hasn't spotted us already. It could be that it has and it's launched a drone at us and it's simply not within transmission range yet for us to pick it up. If we had an antenna on our ship, we'd know better, because we'd be picking up broadcasts. I don't think it has. I don't want to hang around long enough to place any bets on it either.
Inventory full.
Excellent. We have a full inventory of cobalt. So now we can build the steel grates. We'll get that refining straight away. We have been actually quite lucky on the materials that we've managed to pick up. done pretty well. But we do need to run away from that spat pirate because he wants to kill us. If he can find us, he will murder us. So we're gonna slink away. We're just gonna sneak away just as fast as we possibly can sneak. Yeah, look at that raiding station up there. Yeah. If we had an antenna broadcasting on our ship, that thing would have launched drones as soon as it got within range of us. We're kind of lucky in that regard. Because they do react to things like broadcasting antennas. You know, if they can see the broadcast range, if your antenna's broadcast range is set to high enough where they can see it, they'll follow it. They'll often launch attack drones at you as well. They're really unpleasant things with anti-personnel turrets attached to them, but they like to mess you up, putting it bluntly. We're going to head back to that asteroid with the gold in, because I feel like we're leaving gold behind, and I don't like that idea. I know it's the greedy part of me clearly showing through. Who doesn't love a bit of gold? I mean, come on. Really? Are you telling me if you couldn't get gold, you wouldn't have gold? Of course you would. Yeah, we're putting some distance between ourselves and those guys.
What is that? That asteroid's also incredibly interesting.
But again, I know it's just the sunlight bouncing off of the surface. I'm not going to go over and investigate, especially as that's going to take us closer to that raiding station and not further away from. Further away from is definitely the direction that we want to go. At some point in the future, we'll also maybe try and attach a gun or two to this. It's probably a good idea. I mean, obviously, it's not got the gubbins to support a really large defensive whatever. We could probably get one gun on though for sure. We're just keeping our eyes peeled for interesting things as we're travelling along. So we're looking around and just looking for anything that looks artificial. And by artificial I mean very, very straight lines. Because asteroids tend to be a bit random. Stations and spaceships a little bit less so. They're much more obvious than the rocks that you're used to seeing, and if you can find one, it is a massive boon in our resources. Like, huge. So we just keep our eyes peeled. We just keep looking around all the time. Even though we're travelling at like 100 meters a second, which is literally hurtling through space. Yeah, we're looking for anything that looks artificial, because that'll be a clue that even at long distances, you know, a box is going to look like a box. A solar panel will look kind of like a solar panel. Etc, etc. Unless the stuff's like rendering right on the edge of your render range, like those two rocks over there. I'm fairly sure they're rocks, right in between my crosshairs there. Those two little guys there. I'm fairly sure they're rocks, but they could also be. They could be anything. Well, anything that's man-made. another little tiny thing over there. I'm fairly sure that's probably a rock as well. We really need to put a camera on the front of the ship. We've even got a space to put it that's fairly sensible. So we've got another little thing that's just getting into our render range now. I'm fairly sure that's a rock. Okay, we're within a kilometre, so we want to activate our... We're going to overshoot, aren't we? Yeah, we're definitely going to overshoot this. Never mind, it's totally fine. So we're just going to take it up to, I think maybe 20 meters a second-ish. Should be more than enough for us to glide in on. Okay, and then reactivate and slow down around about now. Take ourselves in a little closer, I think. Yeah, that should be more than enough. We're going to have ourselves another little spacewalk. We have done a lot of spacewalking. Far more than I'd like. But we do want some gold. And I'm fairly sure gold is used in a lot of things besides just supercomponents.
Inventory full.
Excellent, a full inventory of gold. That probably isn't that much, but you know, it's nice to have. So yeah, I think we're going to have the camera there or there. I think probably there, because I think we're going to drill this out, and no, actually we're going to have the camera there, and we're probably going to grind this out, and we're more than likely going to mount an ore detector in there at some point in the future. Right, we're just going to put this ore directly in here. Now it should suck. So the cargo conveyor system, if it's working, will draw this gold straight into the refinery if it's working properly. Come on, take it. Take it. Yes, there we go. It took it. It's still taking it. There we go. Yeah, it's moving over, and that should be the last one. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Now, whilst all of this ore is refining, getting the important stuff done, we're going to do some more welding, because we do need to weld up all the holes in the ship. Because I would like to pressurise this ship by the end of this episode, ideally. Although we have spent an inordinate amount of time mining. We really have spent a lot of time mining. It's not my most favourite thing to do in the world, but you know, when you get veins of rich stuff just all over the place, can't help it. Okay, we're already running low on steel plates. I feel like we should probably build some more. Production, here we go. So if you, that's another thing, I should probably explain this. So you hit control and click and it will produce 10. Shift and click will produce 100, and if you just click it on its own it will produce 1. So big jobs, shift click. Most of you probably, well, most of you who are watching this probably know that, but you never know. Maybe there are players who have never actually played this game before, but thinking about playing it and watching this, you know. Handy little things to know before you actually play. Of course, I spend a heck of a lot of time playing solo. If you enjoy multiplayer, there are a lot of multiplayer servers and a lot of multiplayer communities that are very good, and you know, we'll happily let you join them most of the time. You do get some people who are a little bit isolationist. And don't want anyone jumping onto their private server. That happens, you know, that happens. But then you get a lot of people who are okay with people coming onto their private servers, and as long as you don't like start griefing, you're totally fine. This game did used to have a lot of problems with griefers early on. Before it started getting really complicated, you know, you'd get griefers just logging into other people's servers and crashing respawn ships into people's bases. It was kind of a funny thing, you know, if it wasn't your base that you'd spent Lord knows how much time building. You know, investment equals attachment to a certain extent, and that can annoy some people. Steel plate. Good. And I imagine there are still griefers in this game, but I'm guessing that it's probably less now than it was in the beginning. Simply because griefers have moved on and found other games to entertain themselves with. As like I said, this game's been out a fair while, and it's gone from alpha into beta now, so I think it's still early release. I'm pretty sure it's still early release though. But when I first started playing the game, planets weren't even a thing. You didn't have a lot of the tutorials and stuff that you have now, which actually makes joining the game now a lot easier. It's a lot less like being thrown into the deep end of space without a clue. If you go through the tutorials and, you know, watch the YouTube videos and stuff, you'll come into the game with a really good understanding of how everything works. Another thing that Team have done, they've gone out of their way to provide the community with as much information via social media sources such as YouTube as possible. No, this episode wasn't sponsored by Keen Software House, by the way. Just in case anyone's wondering. And no, I don't want a job with Keen Software House, thanks, I've got one. Obviously not working for Keen Software House. Entirely different organisation. Not even in game
Energy
development.
low.
Ooh, we're almost out of suit energy. We have gotten quite a bit welded though. Let's get our suit energy back up. I think we're going to need more hydrogen though, so let's not use that. Hydrogen and oxygen. Let's use this instead. Yes, there we go. Just max everything out. There we go. Perfect. Well, nearly max. I'm not sure, but I think we still need more steel plate. Just to sort of finish the last of the hull. Ideally, I didn't want to. I really didn't want to use too much of the iron that we gathered to make the steel plate. But if all that we managed to achieve in this is get the last of the hull welded up and fill the ship with O2, I think we could be able to call that an episode. Yeah, we're out of steel plates. I kinda knew that was going to happen. Okay, well we can access production from the back here. What do you think, 700? How much iron do we have? None. Yeah, we're going to need to mine more iron. Ah, dear, I didn't want to do that. Still, no helping it, I guess. Fill up a backpack of iron and hopefully that will be enough for us to atmosphere the ship. Perfect. And the ship was parked out this way. Yep. See how the assembler's just drawing materials straight over to it to carry on assembling like that. We're going to want another backpack of iron, aren't we? It's probably going to save us some time if we do it now rather than later. We have a lot that we can just pick up that's just floating here as well, so we'll take advantage of that. Because obviously I mine and make a mess, I'm just one of those people. You can see why I thought I might be able to pick that up, right? It's just hanging there. Okay. Can we pick any of those up? No, they're all just floaty bits. How are we doing? Ah, excellent. We'll grab these steel plates and we'll carry on welding, I think. Don't exactly have that much left to do. To get the exterior of the ship sort of airtight. Now, our airlock that we've built is the most basic type of airlock you could possibly make. There are other types of airlocks. You can make an airlock that depressurizes. If you're clever, you can make an airlock that, yeah, it depressurizes when you go in it. You know, uses a sensor and an air vent connected onto the conveyor to tell if there's a person in there. Depressurizes and pressurizes it depending on which doors were open to get access to the airlock. But all of that requires a knowledge set that I don't really possess. I'm going to be honest. I can do the basics in this game, but the really advanced stuff, yeah, no, you're going to have to leave that to someone with a little bit more know-how than me. Okay, and that should be our ship fully welded. It is indeed, our ship is now fully welded. Or not. Wow. Okay, need more steel plate. Please tell me we have more steel plate on the build. Yes, we do. We have plenty. Good. Now, if we go inside, I'm just skirting around the outside of the ship to double check everything. Okay, yeah, we're definitely able to pressurize the ship now if we can get a working O2, vent. It's that part. There we go. Right, we'll close these doors as well. See, and that's our airlock. Do we need our lights on in here? No, we don't. It's got that mood lighting that we built accidentally. Now we're going to need it's those metal grids. How many do we need? 5. I'm certain we can make those now. Okay, so production, metal grids. Yes, nickel and cobalt. I didn't realise that it used nickel as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have all of those materials. I think. Yes, we do. Perfect. Okay, now we do need construction components and some computers as well. I believe we've got, yes, we've got construction components and we have of more computers than I anticipated. Now, if we've done this right, we'll get atmosphere in here. Are you producing atmosphere? Let's double check. Okay, it's on. The only way that we're going to be... Okay, so those lights at the top will tell you whether this is pressurizing or not. I believe it's pressurized. I guess we have air pressure in here. Okay, so you hit J and that removes your helmet. I'm going to remove my helmet and hopefully our head doesn't explode. Here goes. So 3, 2, 1. We have air. We have air. Wonderful. The ship's airtight. We don't have any leaks. The ship's airtight. We can feel, we're no longer with our helmet off. We're no longer breathing the O2 in our O2 tanks. And with the gravity on the low setting like it is, we're not using hydrogen in our jetpacks. There is something approaching us. What is that? That's military escort. We probably don't want to be anywhere near that. Okay, so I believe we've set out to do most of what we intended to do with this episode. It's run a little over an hour. I am terribly sorry about the last episode being like nearly an hour and a half. I will try to make the episodes shorter, but obviously I want you to see everything happening as it happens. If I give you the unedited footage, you can see there's no cheating going on. There's nothing being added in the background. I mean, you can check the inventories and everything yourself. So I will leave it there, and yeah, I'll cut recording there. Anyway, have fun, and actually, I should probably mention. So probably won't do an episode tomorrow of Space Engineers. You'll probably get a World of Warships episode. They're much shorter anyway. Space Engineers will probably wait until Saturday for me to do the recording of it, just for reasons. So yeah, I'm going to cut the recording there, and I will catch you guys later. Have fun, play safe, and enjoy.